These Detroit Pistons. Hot damn. I gave y'all the night off last night. I said let them have it. I want to let all the people who are late to the show have an opportunity to enjoy, to bask in the glory, to really take in what I think I've been saying for a long time. That this squad had far more potential than anyone was giving them credit for. Ausar Thompson, Ron Holland, Marcus Sasser, uh, Jaden Ivey, man, even Cade Cunningham, Tobias Harris, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart. I can go on and rip off more and more and more. Before I get into the I told you so's, before I go there, I want to say welcome to the bandwagon for the Detroit Pistons fan who was a novice and had disconnected for a long time. Is finally coming around. You saw all the empty seats, even in the lower region of the arena last night, which was kind of like, man, we still not packing this thing out after all this time, huh? All these wins, we on a streak, and we're still not packing it out, playing the last season's world champions. Uh, that's kind of unnerving to an extent, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? I get it. Y'all are still recovering from the past few seasons. You're still recovering from the Monty Williams era. You're still recovering from a lack of expectations, and so not everybody's buying the ticket. But I want to say welcome. I want to say welcome to those who, for the first time, had a front row seat to the Ausar Thompson show. That is AKA first team all defense, AKA DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year candidate, front runner. Now that Wemby down, I can't think of a more disruptive defender in the NBA. Amen Thompson is right there with him. But outside of those two, I can't think of someone who is that devastating on and off the ball. Evan Mobley is solid, but I don't know if he's guarding all five positions in the same way. And he has far more help in doing so with Jared Allen right there. Watching this game, this was one of those games where I'm going to be honest, before I get into the I told you so's, I was personally shocked by the offensive production that came from this team. I didn't see that coming. I thought they were going to struggle against Boston. I thought they were going to have a hard time keeping pace, especially with Cade Cunningham struggling throughout the game. It was one of those things where I was like, look, if this guy doesn't get it going, they're going to really have a hard time closing out this team. And yet he never really gets it going. Cade ends the game, I believe, with like 20 points. He has 11 assists, but it was one of those games where it's just like, man, I don't know if they're going to have it. And yet Ausar Thompson comes to the rescue. Ausar Thompson literally comes to the rescue. He shows up in a major way. He shows up in a major way. And I'm curious for everybody in the chat. Let me know what was your favorite Ausar Thompson moment last game? Because when I think about what I watched from him, his evolution. Look, I just came out with a video, only a few days back, really critiquing Ausar Thompson. Really, I kind of had to go in because there's some things I felt he should have learned and developed by now that he simply was showing a couple nights ago that he had it against the Atlanta Hawks. It was a tough matchup regarding Trae Young, and at the same time, he lacked so much discipline and said, yo, he's got to do better. And then not only does he do better, 2 games later, I mean, he was great against the Clippers, but in the game, he was dominant. He was dominant. He frustrated Jason Tatum so much. Ausar Thompson's defense on Jason Tatum, who's supposed to be an MVP candidate, who's a world champion, who's supposed to be a bona fide superstar, who's supposed to be one of the top 10 players in the league, yet somehow Ausar Thompson in year 2, as a sophomore in this league, absolutely put him in jail. Absolutely gave him the worst night of his life. Put him in a horror show. Put him in a nightmare. He was knocking the ball away every single time he tried to drive. Every single time he tried to post up. He barely got one kind of dunk down the middle in the second half when he kind of had him with the hesitation. Had a bunch of screens going on. It's badly navigated, or it was. I should say it wasn't badly navigated by Ausar Thompson. It was a coordinated effort that didn't happen. Duran didn't call out. Ausar didn't make the right anticipation of what Tatum was going to do. He leaned into the screen at the same moment. Tatum crossed over, had an open lane, and Duran was not in position. Okay, he got one. He frustrated Tatum so bad he essentially took him out of the game. And this is what I want to talk about, the evolution of Ausar Thompson. I really want to talk about this because this is something that I've been saying. If you watch the videos that I posted from over the summer, I said, yo, Ausar Thompson and Ron Holland together are going to wreak havoc as wing defenders in this league for a long time. Don't let them get back Jaden Ivey. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Ron Holland, Ausar Thompson, and maybe Isaiah Stewart behind him. Psh, nobody scoring. Nobody scoring. And yet this was a game where they needed someone to step up. Now Malik Beasley stepped up offensively, but I don't think it matters if Ausar Thompson is not there. If Ausar Thompson is not creating the turnovers that lead to wide open threes for Beasley, that lead to guys matched up on the wrong player, and now all of a sudden you have a big on a small, and you're able to break them down and get kickouts, get the defense in rotation. Ausar Thompson was so disruptive. He single-handedly changed the complexion of the game. When he was in at the very beginning, getting steals, knockaways, and I want to talk about this, how he's defending. But from the very beginning, Ausar Thompson, his ability to disrupt on and off the ball was so impactful that they go up to this huge lead. And the moment he comes out the game, Boston goes on a run. Literally, literally the moment he comes out the game. And then when they put him back in, you see the Pistons begin to surge. Not behind Cade Cunningham scoring. He was assisting, but not behind his scoring, which generally is where we fall behind. Malik Beasley was knocking down shots. Tim Hardaway was missing a lot of shots in that first half. And yet, Ausar Thompson was in the game. This team surged. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff, playing within that minutes a little bit more. Got Ausar Thompson back in that first quarter. I saw that. I noticed that. Good adjustment, JB Bickerstaff. That's what we need to see. We need to see you tinkering and playing and experimenting, because as the playoffs come, we're going to need Ausar Thompson doing things like that. We're going to need him shutting down wing defenders. We're going to need him playing as a menace off the ball. And that's what I wanted to get into next. How he defended. It wasn't just that he was on the ball, which I think we're used to seeing him do. We've seen the chase down blocks, but most of the time we see him on the ball as a completely disruptive, lockdown defender. And yet in this game, I saw something. I don't know if they did it on purpose. I don't know. I'm going to look and see what they do in the next upcoming cups. But and prayers up for Ausar Thompson. His calf was cramping. If you watch that play, he also rolled his right ankle. The calf cramped, but he also rolled his ankle. So prayers up for him. I hope he gets better. He's able to come back and keep playing. I don't know if he'll be out at all. He might be questionable for the next game. Who knows? All this to say is that Ausar Thompson was not just guarding on the ball, but there were times where you saw Tobias Harris would switch and be an on-ball defender and Ausar Thompson as the help defender. What that did was it did not allow Jason Tatum to build up this anticipatory rhythm against Ausar Thompson, which guys do. If you watch a good offensive player, a great offensive player, they will read their defender in such a way where they recognize how they're being guarded, and they'll make the mental adjustment and say, okay, if you're guarding me this close, next time I come off this screen, I'm going to hit the brakes and get a foul called on you for running into the back, right? That's what Trae Young did. But all of a sudden now he has a new defender, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, shoot. Okay, now let me try to guard. Let me try to score against Tobias Harris, 6'9", 240 pounds. Oh, okay. Now I got Cade on me. Oh shoot, Asar's back on me. But the whole time, even when there's somebody else on him, Ausar Thompson still plays a role as a help defender because of how quick he's able to dig down and get deflections, get steals, knock the ball away, help and recover. So even when you think you're going to be able to kick the ball out to wide open shooter, he's right there closing out, taking away the shot. How many times I think he even blocked a 3-point shot off of a closeout. Ausar Thompson was so disruptive. Well, he single-handedly changed the complexion of the game when he was on the court versus off. He had the highest plus minus. Now, I do want to shout out to the other guys, Marcus Sasser, who did his job. Yeah, good job, Bickerstaff. He said the team went away from the game plan in the first half. They did. They made the adjustment in the second half, and that's why we went on that run. Facts. Facts. JB recognized it. JB recognized it. And sometimes you have to let your team get away from the game plan in order to reel them back in so they understand what it feels like when they've gotten away from it and when they need to reel themselves back in. They need to feel that so you don't always have to use timeouts, especially in the playoffs, right? You want to see guys figure that stuff out. All this to say is shout out to the other guys who stepped in. Marcus Sasser. Look, I didn't know Dennis Schroeder was going to be out this game, but the way he filled in, he finally started playing like Marcus Sasser last season. Finally, finally. I know they wanted him to work on his facilitation skills, distributing the ball, running the show. Look, go get a bucket. I don't care about that. I don't care about facilitation. I don't care about you running the offense. Go get a bucket. That's who you are, bro. That's who you are. And we saw the difference in his confidence, getting that breakaway layup. Next thing you know, he hits a three, he hits another shot, right? His confidence was different. Go get a bucket. I know you can facilitate. I know you can run the offense. Okay. Hey, we got her now. Hey, we got Ausar Thompson, right? Go get buckets, Sasser. And when he does, he was a major part. I think he had either the second highest plus minus of this game, tied with Isaiah Stewart, who was equally aggressive on both ends, right? Like when those guys fill in and play their roles, Ron Holland as well, great energy player. And those guys are playing how they need to when you have other great defenders. Overall, this team becomes an elite defense. And I've been saying it for a while. Check the last video I did, the last live I did. I specifically said, I'm really going to start looking at the closing lineup of Dennis Schroeder, Cade Cunningham, Ausar Thompson, and what those defensive plus minus numbers are like, what their defensive rating is like when those three are on the court together, especially if they have Isaiah, what that's going to look like for them. Probably a Tobias Harris as well. But I would rather see them go big with Schroeder, Cade at the two, and then you have Ausar, Harris, and let's say Duran or Stewart. And I'm going to get into Duran a little bit. Then I would have Tim Hardaway Jr. Look, Tim Hardaway Jr. hit some shots in that second half. I wasn't feeling it still. He had some good plays in that third quarter. But damn, sometimes for stretches he's just a liability. He's just a liability. See, Jerome Passmore, give Sasser his flowers. Hasn't played in weeks. X comes in, gets transition layup, right? Hit 2 threes. Love the walk up three he made. Facts. Facts. Like he's been y'all like some of y'all may not understand what it feels like to not be getting burned. It's one thing to do it, on a rec team. It's one thing to not get your burn, even when you're on like a middle school, high school team. Okay, expectations. But at this level, the college level, the professional level, college pretty much is professional at this point, to a degree. It always has been. But it's to say you're so confident in your game. To not get playing time is just weird. It's weird because you know you're good. You know you're better than the vast majority of players out there, and you're not playing. That hits your ego. It messes with your mind at times. It can be hard to stay locked in. Shout out to Marcus Sasser for staying locked in. I think Dennis Schroeder is also going to be a great mentor for Marcus Sasser as well. What we're going to see is that both Jaden Ivey and Marcus Sasser are going to benefit from watching Dennis Schroeder play and understanding expectation. I'm still posing the question. I might put a little whatchamacallit. I might poll. Let me see if I can put a little poll real quick. That's okay, whatever. I want to know what was your favorite Ausar Thompson play from yesterday. Was it was it big boying? What was the big a nice Kita? I mean, posting him up, a legit 7-footer, going right into his chest, backing him in, and scoring twice on him. Was he putting Jason Tatum on skates? Did y'all see Jason Tatum doing trying not to fall backwards? He got Cade. Tatum got Cade. But then Ausar Thompson got Jason Tatum on skates. That's your boy right there. Had your back. Had your back. I got you. I got you. And don't let it be said anymore that Asar Thompson ain't got handles. Don't let it be. Look, man, some of y'all listen to too many of these random talking heads who don't really watch the Pistons. They don't really watch Pistons. And they're talking about Amen Thompson is such a far better ball handler and able to get to his spots. What wasn't Asar Thompson able to do? What spots wasn't Asar Thompson able to get to? Where was he not able to initiate offense, play make for other teammates, facilitate and get the team into their set, get the ball to the correct spot in transition, right? Keep his handle alive after attacking when he didn't see what he liked and make sure that he didn't settle for a bad shot. The maturation that we're seeing of Asar Thompson in regards to his handle and being able to be a point forward is something that's beautiful that's happening in front of our eyes. And the thing is, I would say only about 30% of his potential assists are actually ending in scores. I'm seeing missed wide open jump shots. I'm seeing missed plays where catch the ball and then they're hesitating. They're not recognizing just what Asar Thompson is doing for them in terms of creation. And I think guys figure it out. JB's going to start just yelling at him like, look, when he gives you the ball, just shoot it. Jerome Passmore, once again, Tobias is looking so much better here. In Philly, he most of the time ends up watching Embiid and Maxi Facts. But here he's so much more active, knowing he's important to the offense. And, yo, big facts. I've been a fan of Tobias Harris since he was at Tennessee. Pistons, saw him go to the Clippers, everywhere else. Been a fan of his game. He's one of those guys that is far and away better than the majority and the average starter. And yet he's just shy, maybe a solid step behind the all-star. So he always leaves you in this like always wanting more and seeing more to make you want more, but never giving you more. Never giving you more in terms of being an all-star, but always giving you more than what you would expect of a role player. So it's like you always want him to be better instead of just appreciating what he is. Tobias Harris is a bucket. He does the right things. He's in the right positions. He's a leader, a consummate professional. He stays healthy. He contributes. He always stays within himself. You can rely upon him. Tobias Harris, shout out to him because he was also a part of shutting down Jason Tatum. And I know he ended up with 27 points, but I'm going to be honest, it was an ugly 27. A lot of the shots that he was making was like, oh, thank God Asar Thompson's not on me. Or I get a bunch of screens to try to free me up. And then I finally get an open shot. It wasn't him creating, breaking down the defense. He wasn't able to be this dominant force that collapses our defense constantly. And that's shout out to Ausar Thompson. Classic 76 is bittersweet. My friends called me delusional. I was a homer. I knew Pistons had talent. They just needed a coach to harness that potential. Facts. Facts. I've been saying it since last offseason. I said everyone who is needed to turn this team around is already on this team. The veterans have been great. They've been healthy, but also great. And the core of what has accelerated this team's progress was the core of the youth that was already there. And I'm still looking to see Bobby Clintman out there. Look, and can we officially, please, can we officially say the Simone Fontecchio era is over? Is over. Is over. I'd rather see Bobby Clinton out there. I'd rather see Ron Holland, who we did see. We did see Ron Holland playing a lot of forward, playing a lot of big out there. He was doing his thing. To say Ron Holland taking some of Simone Fontecchio's minutes was everything we needed. Everything we needed. That was exactly what we wanted. Give the minutes to Ron Holland. Give the minutes to Ron Holland. He's earned it. He's playing hard. As long as he's rebounding, playing with great energy and effort, let's do it. Yusuf says defense. Ausar Thompson got us the win. Facts. Facts. How many deflections did he get? How many loose balls did he create, knocking away the ball from the post ball handler, right? Porzingis post up against Tobias Harris or even Cade Cunningham, having the mismatch, but then here comes Ausar Thompson flying in out of nowhere, knocking the ball away. Or force pick up the ball, and then as soon as he picks up the ball and tries to throw it back out, Ausar Thompson's already there closing out, negating the whole post up, right? Blessings and quick recovery to Ausar. Yeah, I know. If you look, he cramped, his calf cramped. He also rolled his ankle at the same time. So I was like, okay, it was good to see him be able to walk on it, which sometimes keeping pressure on it keeps it from swelling up. So hopefully it's a shorter recovery time. I wouldn't be shocked if he's out the next game though, because I think they're being cautious with this team. I completely understand that. I appreciate it. Do that if he needs to. If he's not 100%, let him sit real quick. I would say start Ron Holland. I want to see Ron Holland and maybe play some Bobby Clintman in there. Just see how he does. Put Ron Holland starting at the three, just to give him a feel because he's going to be there eventually. Classic 76. Putting Tatum on skates. That was so. Did you see all the different videos and images coming out of that? My man Tatum doing the uh, 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 slow motion falling back. Only by the grace of God and his natural born athleticism was that man able to keep from falling on his ass. Period. Point blank. That was a beautiful moment. Jerome Passmore. I believe Ivy is definitely learning right now. The camera showed him and Cade talking on the sideline during timeout when Boston started to make a run. Yo, big facts. Big facts. I think Ivy is definitely learning. I think he's, excuse me, he's internalizing what he's seeing and how he can contribute. I think if he comes this season, one, he needs to do so by April. I'm giving him 1 month to come back. If he doesn't come back by April, I think the playoffs start at the end of April, mid to the end of April. But he needs at least a solid 10 games. Games to get himself acclimated, get himself revved up. Anything less than that, I think it would do him a disservice. And maybe even the team a disservice. I know he needs the experience. Maybe bring him off the bench or something. I don't know. But I think I would be remiss to play him, and he's really ready to go. Let me see. Jerome Passmore. Everybody hit that like button, support the great channel. Yo, I appreciate that, man. We got 17 people in the building. We've had up to 20 something throughout this live stream. Smash the like button for me. I appreciate that, man. All the love for sure. Dwayne Pritchett. His handle will be great in time. Right now, so. Why does he keep falling and his legs weak? Hope you don't pull. You know what it is? I'm going to be honest with you. You know what it is? He sees things. So him and his brother have great feel for the game. Ahmed Thompson and Ausar Thompson have great feel for the game. They see the game, and their athleticism allows them to get to their spots. Keeping with your skill to match the athleticism and your vision is a whole other adjustment. Moving at the pace of the NBA, there is nothing else like it. Not Summer League, not G League, not NCAA, not G League Ignite. Well, G League Ignite is part of the G League. Not Overtime Elite. You have never played at the frenetic pace, at the nonstop speed of the NBA. So its own context of being a ball handler. I think Ausar Thompson is catching up. Now, keep in mind, he was out last season around this time. Did not play competitively from around last year all the way until October. He was not playing. It's going to take him a while. It's going to take him a solid season, full season, to get his body truly acclimated, his mind. But you see the progress. You see the progress. He had one mishandle. Previous game, he had one kind of misstep. But some of that is his natural progression is still figuring things out. So I'm not worried about Ausar Thompson's handle because it looks great 90-something% of the time. And he's not getting ripped. He sees when he's getting pressured. He's able to gauge. He actually gauges the defense better than Cade does. He sees when pressure's coming. He sees when guys want to pressure him. He sees when to switch from trying to facilitate to attack, never letting that defender get an edge on him. Right? He's seeing it. Now he just has to get acclimated to it. Let me see. Uncle Sam, unfortunately, yeah, Uncle Sam, JB said it cramps, bro. Yeah, no, it was cramps. It was a cramp. But if you watch the replay, you'll see his ankle, like it literally, it turns over. Maybe it's those 21-year-old ankles. I remember my 21-year-old ankles, I go out there, I could hoop all day. I used to roll my ankles, tie the shoelaces up tighter, keep going like it was nothing. Then I'd roll the other ankle, tie it up tighter, keep going. Go home, wouldn't even ice them. Wouldn't even ice them, and I'd be back out there the next day. That's how it used to be for me. You know what I mean? 21-year-old ankles is different. It's different, bro. Either way, K Crusader, the team is now getting their flowers from the national media. Facts, and they so late to the game. They so late, and LCA attendance is increasing. Yeah, hopefully the team still focus and not let the hype get to them. You know, and that's a part of JB Bickerstaff. Um, they're going to have to really make sure they get in those guys' head and be like, look, man, you ain't accomplished nothing yet. You go off and you lose 3, 4 games in a row, and all of a sudden everyone goes right back and goes, "See, I told you. See, I told you." David Aldridge was just on the Bomani podcast, which is dope podcast. Go check it out. And then David Aldridge was being asked about the Detroit Pistons, and he's like, "Look, they're doing all right, but that's not really who they are, right?" Like everybody kind of has that mentality from the national media standpoint. Okay, they're doing good, feel good story, but look, they're a first round exit. I think they're a second round team. I think they could have a Cinderella type of run if it's the right matchups in the playoffs, especially if Ivy gets back. So yeah, folks is finally jumping on the hype. Hopefully they stay focused. Jerome Passmore, when Kristaps Porzingis was on the perimeter, Tobias and Cade picked him up. Yes, I like that. Instead of making these perimeter bigs a solely Stu and Duran a responsibility. I told y'all, didn't I not tell y'all? JB Bickerstaff made the adjustment already. Y'all out there, you're criticizing Duran. You're like, oh, he needs to guard these 3 point shooting bigs. No, nobody plays that way. Nobody asks their big man to come away from the basket unless they have that versatility. But you generally don't want your big man guarding the other team's opposing big who's a 3 point shooter. Let a guard do that. Let a guard pressure him. Let a perimeter player pressure him. You keep your big low so he can control the glass. That was a X's and O's adjustment. Shout out to JB Bickerstaff once again, making the adjustment, seeing the need, making the adjustment. Also want to point out Jalen Duren. Once again, he had a stretch in that fourth. He had a stretch where he scored multiple baskets in a row. That's what I want to keep seeing. That he has stretches of dominance. It was a short stretch, but it was still a stretch nonetheless. Kate Cunningham only had 20 points. Did not have a shooting night. Kate Cunningham literally, pull up his stats really quick right now. He did not have a strong game. He missed a lot of buckets that generally that's him all day. His high percentage pull up, bump his defender off with that off arm, getting straight mid range, 12 to 15 feet. Usually it's water. It wasn't yesterday. It wasn't. So Jalen Duren being able to step up and score, he ended the game points, 6 of 7 from the field, right? Didn't get to free the line as much as they should. Nobody really did. It's all to say, shout out to Jalen Duren for having a stretch of dominance. Yeah, Cade Cunningham ended up 9 of 21. It was actually uglier than that if we watched the game. He got some shots towards the end, got in transition for layups, but he was missing a lot. Cade was missing a lot. Shout out to the rest of the team for stepping up. Let me get to the rest of some of these. First black man on the net. Okay. Tobias basketball IQ on switches to get the mismatches. It's priceless. Priceless, bro. People don't get how often Tobias Harris knows exactly what to do and will traffic and tell everybody where to be. He's been such a godsend for this team. Has such a great impact on Jalen Duren, who they try to keep him paired next to with Cade Cunningham. Or you also notice during non-Cade Cunningham minutes, they like to bring Tobias Harrison for his ability to get quality shots consistently. Shout out to Tobias Harris, ended the game with 16 points, 9 rebounds, leading rebounder after Jalen Duren, who had 11, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks, and 2 threes. Yo, Tobias Harris earned every bit of that contract. Uh, are you? Some of these cats, get this cat out of here, Chuck Lee. I'm talking about K Crusader, Pistons versus Pacers, first round playoffs. How many games increased intensity with the rivalry between them. Look, if they have to play the Pacers in the first round, I think it goes 6-7. I think the Pacers win inevitably. I think there's too many lessons the Pistons will have to learn in that type of a series because of depth of guard play. Dennis Schroeder makes a huge difference. And if Marcus Sasser gets it, maintains this kind of play, if I mean he had 8 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, plus 19. Him and Isaiah plus minus in the game in 21 minutes. If he consistently puts up minutes like this, I would love to see Dennis Schroeder place in the starting lineup, bring Tim Hardaway Jr. down to the bench, and then have Marcus Sasser as one of the first off the bench. I would rather see that in the playoffs against a matchup against the Indiana Pacers because of how many guards that they have to be able to lock down perimeter, to be able to push tempo, to be able to play make and facilitate, to be able to go get buckets. TJ McConnell, he be killing us. Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Benedict Mathurin. We've yet to see all four of those guards available at the same time against us, and we don't have Jaden Ivey. If we had Jaden Ivey, I think that we win that game. The Pistons win a first round series against the Pacers if we have Jaden Ivey and a right Jaden Ivey, meaning he's able to take over for stretches. He's able to score in bunches. He's knocking down his threes. He's facilitating play make, getting out in transition. That Ivy, I think he wins us a first round matchup against the Pacers. But I think a better matchup for us is the Milwaukee Bucks or the New York Knicks because they do not have depth at the guard position, and we can wear them out and have an opportunity to outplay them because I think we're the best player in that series with Cade Cunningham. Uh, Chuck, we don't. Hey, look, man, don't be crazy in my lives, man. All that craziness, nah, we don't do that. K Crusader, true facts, bro, true facts. But hey, y'all, appreciate y'all rocking with me on this live. Smash the like button, hit subscribe, and the bell for notifications. Get at me what you think about Ausar Thompson's performance. He was a plus 13. I'm sorry, he was a plus 15 in this game. Seconds plus minus only 7 points, but 50% from the field, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals. He had a block. He had a deflected block too, as we didn't get down in there. But either way, Ausar Thompson had a monster game. Literally, he said, "I got this, y'all," and he had the game of his life, big time against the defending champs, the Boston Celtics. We're gonna have to talk about Jason Tatum soon, because man, I keep telling y'all, you can't be a superstar if somebody can do that to you. Somebody can make you look that bad by themselves. Either way, hope you enjoyed the video. Get at me in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there, and I'm out.